Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of clarity so sharp that no worry, no distraction, no chaos can shake it. Imagine your body feeling lighter, stronger, and more alive, not because of a miracle, but because of simple, powerful choices you make every single day. This isn't fantasy. This is what happens when you start rebuilding yourself from the inside out using the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. The Stoics didn't chase quick fixes or magical solutions. They believed in steady, disciplined action, in the daily shaping of both the mind and the body until they became unshakable. Marcus Aurelius didn't just rule an empire, he ruled himself first. And that is where true power begins. Your mind and your body are not separate worlds, they are two halves of the same life. If one is weak, the other suffers. If one is strong, the other thrives. The Stoics understood that the way you think shapes the way you move, and the way you care for your body shapes the way you think. Every day, you are either building yourself up or breaking yourself down. There is no neutral. The first step in rebuilding is awareness. Most people live on autopilot, letting habits and impulses run the show. Stoicism calls you to pause, to observe your own thoughts and actions, and to ask, does this strengthen me or weaken me? Every choice you make, from what you eat to how you speak to yourself, either adds to your strength or drains it. The second step is discipline. Not the harsh, joyless kind, but the discipline of consistency. The discipline to move your body daily, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. The discipline to feed your mind truth instead of letting it drown in negativity. The discipline to stay true to your principles when it would be easier to take the easy way out. The Stoics taught that suffering often comes from resisting reality. If you want to heal, you must stop fighting what is and start focusing on what you can control. You can't control the storms of life, but you can strengthen your ship. You can't control every thought that enters your mind, but you can decide which ones to give your attention to. You can't control every ache or limitation in your body, but you can decide to give it the movement, nourishment, and rest it needs to recover. Rebuilding yourself is not about chasing perfection. It's about creating alignment. It's about making sure your actions match your values. You say you want peace, but do you feed your mind constant noise? You say you want health, but do you fuel your body with what it truly needs? You say you want strength, but do you avoid the very challenges that would build it? Every day is a chance to close that gap. To train your mind like a warrior, calm under pressure, sharp in thought, unshaken by fear. To train your body like an ally, strong, capable, ready to carry you through the demands of life. The beauty of Stoic practice is that it doesn't demand giant leaps. It demands small, consistent steps that compound over time until you are unrecognizable to the person you once were. If you start living this way, you will notice the change. You'll think clearer. You'll react slower. You'll move with more energy and purpose. You'll stop carrying the weight of what you can't control, and you'll put that energy into what you can. And little by little, the person you've always wanted to be will no longer feel out of reach, because you're becoming them. And as you become that person, you'll realize something powerful. You're not just healing your mind and body, you're rebuilding your entire life. The way you see challenges will shift. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You'll start asking, how can this make me stronger? That one shift changes everything. Obstacles stop feeling like roadblocks and start becoming training grounds. The Stoics lived by this truth. Adversity is the furnace in which strength is forged. If you protect yourself from every difficulty, you also protect yourself from growth. Rebuilding from the inside out means you face what's uncomfortable, not to suffer, but to sharpen yourself. When you train your mind to stand firm in discomfort, your body follows, and when your body is conditioned to endure, your mind grows steadier. But understand this. It's not about dramatic, overnight transformations. It's about stacking small victories. Waking up and choosing movement instead of another hour in bed. Choosing whole, nourishing food instead of whatever numbs you. choosing to pause before reacting, to breathe before speaking, to think before deciding. Every choice is a brick, and brick by brick, you are constructing a version of yourself that can weather anything. There will be days when you slip, when you feel the old habits pulling you back. That's where Stoic wisdom becomes your anchor. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he would face pain, loss, and difficulty, but that none of it could touch the core of who he was unless he allowed it. And that's the truth for you too. You can stumble without falling apart. You can make mistakes without undoing all your progress. The key is to return, always, to the path you've chosen. As your mind strengthens, you'll notice your body responds differently. Stress won't cripple you the same way because your nervous system is no longer on constant high alert. Your energy will last longer because you're not burning it on worries you can't control. Your sleep will deepen because your mind isn't chasing thoughts into the night. This is what happens when you train both mind and body. They work together as one, and the harmony between them becomes your greatest source of power. And in that harmony, you'll discover something rare. You'll feel truly at home in yourself. No matter where you are, no matter what happens, you'll carry that sense of stability with you. Because when you rebuild yourself from the inside out, the world can't take it from you. You've become your own foundation. And when you become your own foundation, you stop fearing what might crumble around you. Jobs can end, relationships can change, circumstances can shift overnight, but you remain. You no longer build your life on unstable ground, hoping the world stays kind. Instead, you build it on principles, discipline, and self-respect, knowing those are the only things truly within your control. The Stoics understood that strength is not about appearing untouchable, it's about being unshaken when life touches you. And that resilience is born from the daily habits you choose. Every morning you strengthen your mind, you're preparing for the unexpected. Every time you push your body beyond comfort, you're building the endurance you'll need when life demands more from you. These moments compound, and before you know it, the things that once overwhelmed you now feel like minor waves against an unmovable shore. You start to live slower in the mind but sharper in action. You notice more. You react less. You move with intention instead of rushing without purpose. The noise of the world begins to fade, not because it's gone, but because you've learned to tune it out. You're not as easily pulled into drama, fear, or chaos, because you've built an inner world that's calm and ordered, no matter what's happening outside. This is the reward of rebuilding from the inside out. You gain a sense of control that can't be given or taken by anyone else. You stop waiting for the right time to feel better. You stop hoping for a break in the storm. You realize you are the break in the storm. And as this becomes your way of life, you inspire others without even trying. They'll see the way you handle pressure, the way you speak, the way you take care of yourself, and they'll feel something different about you. You won't need to explain it, they'll sense it. Because true strength doesn't need to announce itself, it simply exists, steady and undeniable. From there, each day is no longer about survival, it's about mastery. You keep refining your mind. You keep challenging your body. You keep aligning your actions with the kind of life you want to live. And with every choice, every habit, every moment of discipline, you reinforce the truth. You are not at the mercy of life. You are an active creator of it. And when you finally see yourself as the creator of your own life, everything changes. You stop waiting for motivation to knock on your door because you understand that discipline is what builds the life you want, not fleeting bursts of inspiration. You stop blaming circumstances because you know that your response holds far more power than anything that happens to you. The Stoics lived each day as if it were their last, not out of fear, but out of deep appreciation for time's value. When you rebuild your mind and body from the inside out, you begin to live this way too. You stop wasting energy on what you cannot change and start pouring it into what you can. Your habits, your health, your mindset, your purpose. You will feel the shift in subtle ways at first. The things that used to send you into a spiral now barely touch you. You'll notice you recover faster from setbacks, both physically and mentally. You'll find yourself less distracted by meaningless noise, and more present in your daily life. And slowly, you'll realize you've crossed a line. You're no longer the same person you were when you began this journey. This transformation doesn't mean your life will be free of challenges. It means you will face them as someone who is prepared. Someone who is rooted. Someone who cannot be easily broken. That is the essence of Stoic practice, fortifying yourself so well on the inside that nothing on the outside can destroy you. And as you keep walking this path, your mind will become sharper, your body stronger, and your spirit calmer. You'll move through life not just surviving its storms, but navigating them with purpose and grace. You'll know that no matter what comes, you have the tools, the strength, and the clarity to face it. Because when you commit to rebuilding yourself from the inside out, you stop living as a passive participant in life, and start living as its architect. And as the architect of your life, you begin to design with intention. Every thought becomes a brick. Every habit becomes a beam. Every choice becomes part of the structure you're building. You no longer throw things together and hope they hold. You build with precision, knowing that every decision you make today shapes the strength of the foundation you'll stand on tomorrow. The Stoics knew that a weak foundation will collapse under pressure, but a strong one will stand for a lifetime. That's why they trained daily. Not for show, not for others, but for themselves. They understood that life will test your structure, and if you've neglected your inner and outer strength, the cracks will show when it matters most. When your mind is clear, you make better choices for your body. When your body is healthy, it supports the focus and energy your mind needs. This cycle, once built, becomes self-sustaining. You no longer feel like you're dragging yourself through the day. You move through it with a sense of flow, purpose, and control. And here's the real beauty of it. When you live this way, the chaos of the world doesn't dictate the quality of your life. The economy can change. People can leave. Plans can fall apart. But your foundation remains. You've built something deeper than circumstances can touch. This doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you choose, every single day, to show up for yourself. To move your body when it's easier to stay still. To feed your mind wisdom when it's easier to consume noise. To hold yourself to a higher standard, not because anyone is watching, but because you've decided that you deserve nothing less. Over time, the life you once only imagined becomes the life you live. Not perfect. Not free of challenges. But unshakable in its strength and clarity. And that's when you realize, rebuilding your mind and body from the inside out isn't just about healing. It's about becoming unbreakable. And when you become unbreakable, life stops feeling like a constant battle for survival and starts feeling like a journey you're actively shaping. You no longer wake up dreading the day ahead, because you know you have the strength, discipline, and clarity to face whatever comes. Your mind isn't clouded by fear, your body isn't weighed down by neglect, and your spirit isn't crushed by doubt. This is where true freedom lives, the kind the Stoics spoke of. Not freedom from responsibility, but freedom from the chains of weakness, hesitation, and dependency on things you cannot control. You're not a slave to impulse or emotion anymore. You're the master of them. You can choose your reactions, your thoughts, and your actions with precision. People around you will notice the change. They may not be able to put it into words, but they'll feel it. You'll carry yourself differently. You'll speak with calm authority. You'll move through challenges without being shaken, and that quiet confidence will inspire others without you even trying. This is the reward for showing up every day, for pushing through the resistance when it would have been easier to quit. The strength you've built, mental, physical, emotional, becomes your shield and your sword. You don't just survive storms. You move through them like they were part of the plan all along. And here's the truth most people miss. This isn't something reserved for a chosen few. It's available to anyone who is willing to start. To take one step today, then another tomorrow. To keep building, brick by brick, until the person you see in the mirror is the person you always knew you could be. The Stoics believed that excellence wasn't a single moment, it was a way of living. And when you rebuild yourself from the inside out, you stop chasing moments and start living in that excellence every single day.